Guys, welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? This is gonna be the Arsenal versus Tottenham preview. Arsenal, let me say one thing before I get into that game. How come the Arsenal game yesterday couldn't be found anywhere to be streamed? Us Arsenal fans were out there looking like a hungry dogs. We were looking like junkies, bro. We, you know what I mean? Because the thing that Arsenal fans were resorting to, I watched the game from a guy that was in the stadium from Twitter. Like, come on, like I don't get it. How does that happen? But hey, let's move on from that. The second thing I want to talk about is last weekend when we played. Who did we play last week? Burnley. I've seen a lot of people hating on Ben White. People, I would kind of appreciate if people had their own opinions about things. You don't have to always follow the trend. You don't always have to follow other people's and what they say. If you have your own thoughts and say how it is. If you think something is different than what other people are saying, just say it. Because I kind of like I had a feeling that people were kind of bullying the guy, and they were going way over the top. Like I've seen a lot of people saying he was the worst player. He's already a flop. He's shit, and that's not fair on Ben White whatsoever. Because the guy is trying his best so far, and he's trying to get into this team, and big team pressures and a lot of things. And he also had COVID this season, and I would say at least we should give the guy at least 10 games, and then we should be judging him because easily things can change. He can go from being looking terrible, as you guys are saying. I don't think he was terrible, but as they saying he was terrible. If he goes from being terrible to being the best center back we have, then you will regret what you were saying because it's a terrible thing to say about people. And like then what are you gonna do? I know how people are, and I know how the pride works. Someone will not take back what they said because they'll think that people will think they're flippy flop, and they're just gonna continue hating on the guy. That's exactly what happens. So, because the first game, the guy he was terrible with the area duels, and people just ran away with it. The other day he won more area duels than Gabriel. But everybody was saying Gabriel is a colossal. And this guy, everybody was hating on him. And they were saying he's terrible aerial duel. That's the only thing they would say. That's how people don't have their own opinions and they're just following the trend. If you hear people talking about Ben White had terrible game and he got bullied. Okay, how did he get bullied? They will tell you, oh, aerial duel wise, Barnes and Wood were dominating him. But if the numbers say different thing, people, that tells me people are just hating. Anyways, that's a little bit of an event. Let's get into the Arsenal versus Tottenham game. Arsenal needs to win this game. They need to win this game, and Arteta needs this win more than anybody because the fans are they're kind of they're not with him, and he needs to win the fans back. So I think he needs to win this game, and Tottenham is struggling, people. They're struggling. So far, they just lost two back-to-back 3-0 games, and they're not scoring anything. The chemistry with their team is terrible. The coach is getting criticized. Harry Kane is looking like a CDM out there. He's not putting his energy. So the situation is kind of terrible. It's a toxic situation to be in. And Arsenal needs to take advantage of that. We need to win this game. We need to win this game. And Arteta we need to play even good attacking football. But if we even win this game 1-0, I'm okay with that. All I need is the 3 points. But if you can have a great game where we smash them 3-0 or 2-0 or 4-0, then hey, a lot of the fans that were Arteta out, they're gonna be changing their tunes to Arteta in. Me personally, I'm a Arteta out guy, and I will tell you that's how the masses work. People don't have anything to say, like they don't have their own opinions, and they tend to change their opinions quickly. With me, like one game is not gonna change my opinions on Arteta. He needs to show a lot more for me to change my opinions on him. But I think he can win a lot of Arsenal fans back. So let's get into the predicted lineup that I think Arteta is gonna go with. But the lineup I need, like that I would go for if I was the coach as well. In goal, it has to stay Ramsdale. It has to, because Ramsdale so far, when he plays for Arsenal, is looking good. He's better in, like commanding his box, getting the crosses. That's what Martinez was good at. We saw Martinez at least right now. This signing is not looking as bad as people were portraying it to be. If we're gonna start the guy, but people were worried that we're gonna buy this guy and he's gonna be in the bench and we pay 24 million for him. But if we're gonna be starting him and he starts playing good, then hey, he might be worth the money. So far, he's looking good. We can't fault him in anything, and I hope he continues. I hope he continues. A right back. The back four does not change for me, people, because the back four, they played very well together, and sometimes when there's players are getting the chemistry, when they're building their chemistry, they just need to continue playing with each other. And that back four is looking good so far. Young, athletic, they're all great at passing. And this is the future of Arsenal. I think when Saliba comes back next year and we have those two center backs on top of Saliba and Tavares backing up Tierney and Tamayo. I know the backups we have are not the best, but I think in the future that's something we can like change or work on. But so far that back four is looking great. I think we should not change anything when it comes to the back four. This season we do not have Europe, so I think I'm talking even the whole back five with the keeper. I think he shouldn't change that in the Premier League. The only time in my opinion, he should change that is if we have injuries. If we do not have injuries, do not change it. They're looking good. They're building their chemistry, and that's the future. Don't tinker. Arteta, don't tinker. You don't need to tinker. That's the perfect lineup. Back five. Just stick with them. In the midfield, I know the man is back, Granit Xhaka, but I think I'm gonna stick with Thomas Partey and Lokonga midfield. I'm not a big fan of Xhaka. I know he's a very important player for us, but I'm not a big fan of him because the man is very reckless and people talk about his leadership, but I just don't understand, because if he's a leader, then he wouldn't do the things he does. Thomas Partey and Lokonga midfield, it's looking good. They're both athletic. They both can pass. A lot of people, they tend to talk about, oh, Xhaka, he helps like the build-up of the team and progressive passes and all that. I'm telling you right now, Thomas Partey is better at doing that than Xhaka. And now Lokonga, he might not be there yet, but when he has Thomas Partey next to him, that's a great midfield. They're both athletic. They can pass. They can sustain a pressure. Xhaka, that's one of his problems. The man can't sustain pressure. When he gets pressed, he loses the ball, and his concentration is not the best. But those two guys, perfect midfield. In my opinion, don't touch it. Just stick with it. But as I know, Arteta is a big fan of Xhaka, and he's gonna play Xhaka. But for me, Xhaka doesn't get in this team, people. He just has to work his way to come back to this lineup. When it comes to the front players, I'm gonna stick with how I always play. For me, it's gonna be Saka, Pepe, and Martin Odegaard with Aubameyang. Because the team has to get gelling. They have to get good chemistry, and people need to understand where everybody is, and that happens when players know who's playing with them. I think this lineup is balanced. We have the two wingers. I think Arteta, I hope he understands this. Saka is a much better right winger than Pepe. This is not a dig on Pepe, but I just think when Saka is on the right, he can do this. He can stay on the touchline. But when you do that to Pepe, that's not Pepe's game, and you take it a lot from him, because Pepe likes to be here. He likes to be here, and that's what he was doing for Lille when he had his great season. If we want a touchline player, let's put Saka there. If you want a player that's what get inside, put Pepe there, man. Because when you have the team like this, there's balance. Tierney is the touchline on the left, Saka is the touchline on the right, and those two players, Odegaard is going to be creating, and Pepe is going to be like a second striker. So I hope I hope Arteta understands this, and I hope he puts Pepe on the left, and I hope he puts Saka on the right, because that's when we have our best balance, and you're putting the players, in their best spots to succeed. Saka is looking kind of, he's not looking good so far for start of the season, but I think it's not about where he's playing. I think it's mostly, like a lot of pressure, and he's tired. He just came back from the Europe, the Euros, I mean, and he needs time, and he never had a preseason. So let's give him like 5, 6 games. We already played 5 games, but I'm thinking like 6, 7, 8 games, and then I think he's gonna, heat up, and he's gonna, catch form. I think the best way we can deploy both of them is put Pepe on the left, put Saka on the right. That's the best thing you can do. Saka is better when he's on the touchline and he's 1v1 with a fullback. Saka will destroy him in that situation. So I hope Arteta does that. I hope we win this game, and I'm gonna predict a 2-0 win to Arsenal. Let's go Arsenal. I hope we win, and we need this win more than Tottenham. I know Tottenham is struggling, but we need momentum. We need the wins. We need, So I hope we get it. And people, that was my prediction for Arsenal versus Tottenham. Let's go Gunners. Let's win this game. And people, until next time, have a good day.